Big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is.
The legal troubles for longtime entertainment.
Grand jury indicted the music mogul.
The legal troubles for longtime entertainment mogul Sean Diddy Combs have been building for months, including allegations of sexual misconduct, abuse, and violence. Now, the iconic rapper and producer is in custody in New York City in connection to an ongoing investigation by Homeland Security. The charges were not immediately known, but the
Sean Diddy Combs has been arrested in a Manhattan hotel this evening after a grand jury indicted the music mogul. His attorney tells CNN that he is currently being processed. The charges are unclear as of this moment. Joining us now is CNN's entertainment reporter Elizabeth Wagmeister, and also with us CNN chief legal correspondent Ellie Honing. Elizabeth, you were a big part of revealing some details about Diddy's conduct in private over the course of the last couple of months. That video led to a lot more scrutiny on what he has been accused of. What do we know at this point about what this case might ultimately be about?
Abby, at the moment, we don't know what the charges are. I have information that he was arrested tonight at a Manhattan hotel. He is currently being processed. I heard from his attorney they are still maintaining his innocence. They said that in anticipation of these charges that Diddy relocated to New York last week. And here's a statement that I have from his attorney. He says, "We are disappointed with the decision to pursue what we believe is an unjust prosecution of Mr. Combs by the U.S. Attorney's Office." He goes on to say that he is an imperfect person, but is not criminal. Now, Abby, that video that you just spoke about was a few months ago when our team broke this disturbing video of Diddy violently assaulting his ex-girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, better known as the singer, her stage name, Cassie. Now, up until this point, when we broke this video, Diddy had denied the allegations against him. Cassie is one of 10 civil suits against Diddy, 9 of which he is accused directly of sexually assault. Up until that video, he denied everything. After that video came out, he changed his tone. He apologized for his conduct in that video. But I have to tell you, Abby, just as of last week, a former member of Danity Kane, which was one of the bands from Making the Band, Diddy's show that was on MTV, she sued him for sexual assault and other disturbing allegations, and he denied that. So he continues the denials, and he still maintains his innocence, even though he has been arrested tonight.
And Ellie, not a huge amount of information available tonight, but Elizabeth brought up something that I want you to give us a little bit of insight into. Diddy is here in New York, in Manhattan. He apparently came here in anticipation that something like this might happen. What should we understand about what that might mean? It could very well be that this is a federal arrest being processed here in New York.
So, Abby, there are some important things we do not know, including the specific charges that have been lodged against Sean Combs. But there are some really important things we do know. First of all, based on the attorney's statement, based on our reporting, this is a federal prosecution. It's not a state prosecution. The fact that he's being processed in Manhattan tells me that's the Southern District of New York. That's consistent with the reporting that the Southern District of New York had been handling this case. That's the office I used to work at. That's an office that sort of specializes in high stakes cases. Just in the last year or so, Southern District of New York, just as an example, has successfully prosecuted Sam Bankman-Fried, Senator Robert Menendez. The other thing that we do know is a grand jury has indicted Sean Combs, meaning they found probable cause that he committed at least one federal crime. Now,
What's happening, world? It's your girl, the queen of Demure, the Venus money trap. You're in the house reporter, Keisha. Damn Diddy. Back in the 90s and the 2000s, you was the man Diddy. The fuck happened to you? Well, apparently Sean Diddy Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, aka The Diddler, now aka the Baby Oil Bandit, has been arrested and held without bail in Manhattan on human trafficking and RICO charges. He's been getting into a whole heap of trouble ever since R&B singer and former girlfriend Cassie Ventura shed light about Diddy's abusive behavior. Now former member of R&B group Danity Kane singer Don Richard is saying the same thing about the Diddler now. Just like Jack Johnson and Chuck Berry, Diddy is being indicted and prosecuted under the Mann Act, in which laws were used by a racist, white supremacy government to impose ill-gotten wealth onto rich, wealthy, elite black men of various occupations and backgrounds to be railroaded in the criminal legal system because of their taste of women outside of the black community or of their non-traditional, unconventional lifestyle. Chicago legend disgraced R&B singer R. Kelly recently been the poster child of the Mann Act and is currently serving a long prison sentence because of it. My zaddy baby mister, all with the info giving you what you need to know, but you ain't hear it from him though. Told you all about it. Now here is again. What say you? Oh.
Thank you, Keisha. Again, it's your man, Mr. O with the info. Give me what you need to know, but you ain't here for me though. Well, apparently, Sean Diddy Combs gets arrested and held with no bail in the borough of Manhattan on human sex trafficking charges and RICO Act. The Mann Act, in which other prosperous, successful men of color, black men specifically, Jack Johnson, Chuck Berry in years past, and most recent times, a fellow Chicagoan by the name of Robert Sylvester Kelly, who is an R&B singer by the name of R. Kelly. Well, unfortunately, the Mann Act is being used against another successful black man. And again, even though we might be aware, had rumors, heard rumors, and seen him do crazy things in the media and in public alike, Sean Diddy Combs is still innocent until proven guilty. Unfortunately, a lot of charges and a lot of what's the names are stacked against him. Ain't looking too good. Judge denied him $50 million bail, in which he could probably pay for it. Probably became a flight risk, probably took his passport away and everything. He should have did what Russell Simmons had did years prior by leaving the United States and not to be seen again. Yeah, he gonna do his legal debaccles and basically being estranged from his family. But at least he's free. Can't say that for Sean Diddy Combs. And the last 48 hours, I find it ironic with this man. A lot of people are tied to him. Crazy conspiracy theorists, or preferring I like to call her Jaguar Wright, has been alluding to the Diddler's heinous crimes and accusations for years. Even other rappers and label mates have questioned and brought up their ills about Sean Diddy Combs, in which all being brought to light. Cat Williams really did spark a hornet's nest this year when he said all lies will be revealed. And it seems like even though 2024 is about to be coming to a close, it feels like a lot of things has just begun. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of these mainstream news media outlets and get a little more details.
As to what happens next, there will be, likely tomorrow or within the next couple days, but usually in the SDNY, you try to do it the next day, there will be an arraignment, meaning Sean Combs will appear in court with his lawyers. There are no cameras in federal court. He will be advised of the charges against him, and he will almost certainly enter a not guilty plea. But the key thing to watch for is then we'll have the question of bail. Will prosecutors agree to let him out on bail? Will prosecutors ask the judge to lock him up pending trial? That could end up in a contentious argument. So these are things that are going to play out over the next 24 or 48 hours. And finally, Abby, with respect to the charges themselves, it's important to note, we've all seen that video, but assault and sexual assault are not federal crimes. Those are prosecuted in state court. So what I expect to see when we see this indictment is some sort of crime with some element of organization to it, sex trafficking, something along those lines, if it's based on some of the allegations we've heard.
And of course, back in March, his homes in LA and in Miami were raided. All of this leading up to this moment. Elizabeth and Ellie, a lot more to this story will be coming up in the coming days and weeks.
But the hip-hop star has been the subject of a months-long federal probe led by HSI since last year. In March, we saw these dramatic scenes unfold, where agents raided his homes in LA and Miami in connection to a possible sex trafficking probe. CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson.
This type of months-long delay is not unheard of. So you execute a search warrant and then you spend a lot of time going through all the evidence to determine if there's enough there to bring charges.
The three-time Grammy winner became the subject of disturbing accusations starting in November when his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, filed an explosive lawsuit alleging Combs raped, physically abused, and sex trafficked her during their relationship. The two settled the next day, with Combs denying any wrongdoing. But in May, disturbing surveillance video surfaced of Combs violently assaulting Ventura. Since November, Combs has been hit with several more lawsuits with similar accusations, all of which he has denied. In a statement, Combs' attorney said in part, he is an imperfect person, but is not a criminal, adding he has been cooperative with this investigation and voluntarily relocated to New York last week in anticipation of these charges.
If there was, in fact, a conviction on federal sex trafficking and or racketeering, you could see a sentence that is in the double digits. You wouldn't be looking at something like parole.
So once again, we're waiting for that indictment to be unsealed. It could happen at any moment now. And something else important to know, Anne-Marie, that we've learned from sources is that while there is no connection between R. Kelly and Sean Diddy Combs, Homeland Security investigations took the lead in that case regarding R. Kelly, also taking the lead in this case. There are some similarities when you look at sexual assault accusations and racketeering possibly. We will, of course, know when that document is unsealed and bring it to you as soon as we hear the very latest. But again, no connection, but it's interesting that both of those cases headed up by the Homeland Security investigations. We're just learning that from sources.
Yeah, that gives us a tiny little hint as to what he might be facing. Jerika, thank you so much.
Yeah,
very serious. So speaking of that, we are joined now by Rich Schoenstein. He is a trial attorney and partner at Tarter, Krinsky, and Drogan Law Firm. Thank you so much for joining us. So you heard Jerika talking there. We don't know the specifics of the charges that Sean Combs is facing. The indictment is sealed right now. It will be unsealed, but we know we're talking about a federal prosecution here. She mentioned that Homeland Security was taking the lead in terms of the investigation. He's being processed in Manhattan. So then walk us through how things will sort of unfold over the next 24 hours, or the next few days. And I presume he's been in custody this whole time, right?
Well, yeah, I think he's been in custody since he was arrested last night. And what we're going to see next is a court hearing today, the unsealing of this indictment, which will tell us exactly what he's charged with and what the factual allegations are. He may be asked to plea, and importantly, there'll probably be some discussion of whether or not he can be released on bail, which I expect the government to oppose given the seriousness of these allegations and the fact that he's a potential flight risk. But all of that's going to come up pretty quickly because he's going to want to get out of jail.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very wealthy man, so that bail will have to be very, very high if you want to keep him there. Based on your experience with cases in federal courts, how serious could these charges be? And how can we expect, well, we heard a little bit from what Combs' lawyers have said, which is they feel this whole thing is unjust, but what sort of charges could we be looking at? How serious?
Well, I think the charge is going to be very serious. I mean, first of all, you don't go after somebody like Sean Combs unless you have very serious charges to bring. You know, the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York is not messing around. So they think they have a strong case. They think they have evidence. And we've had a sneak preview because for months we've been seeing these various lawsuits. You mentioned Cassie, which was quickly settled. There have been others. So we know there are going to be allegations of sexual assault. There are probably going to be allegations of sex trafficking. I wouldn't be surprised to see racketeering allegations and allegations of other assorted criminal activity. I expect this indictment to be very provocative and very disturbing.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Rich Schoenstein, thank you very much.
There you have it. We don't know what's going to happen with Sean Diddy Combs and who all tied with him. A lot of people have stepped down, like I said, in the last 48 hours. People like Kevin Liles. Y'all know the music exec that used to be head of Bad Boy, who got, I hate to say it, hit with a bottle, I believe, by Diddy. Or was it Jay-Z? Can't remember. But yeah, y'all can fact check me if I'm wrong. Also, Eric Pryor. He's a president of fine arts at one of these prestigious places, as well as Kathy Newsham, the Bay Area mayor. A lot of people, a lot of prestigious people in high places are being stepping down, trying to go ahead and scrub the internet of their past or dealings with Diddy. Maybe some things shouldn't be spoke of or talked about, like Diddy party at Epstein Island. Yeah, maybe too soon. But I'm gonna pass it all back off to Keish. It's your links to open the info. Give me what you need to know. But you ain't here for me though. And you know what to do on your way out the door. I'm gone.
Well, it looks like Diddy might be neighbors with R. Kelly singing off-key Take That. Take that in a few months unless his lawyers can get Diddy out this jam. Let this be a lesson learned to all you so-called players, real niggas, and game goofy Gilligan-esque IMPs out there. The game is colder than a dead Eskimo's dick out chi. And you niggas better keep your head on a swivel like a Afghan soldier. Well, it's your in the house reporter Keisha and my zaddy baby mister with info. Giving you what you need to know. But you ain't hear it from US though. Until next time, pieces and deuces, and we are out. Bye.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you want to choose to donate, you can sock it to my pocket at Cash App, $MISTERO070. And you can hit my email if you want to go ahead and support the content.